Welcome to Wednesday's team call. I am excited about this one because Ashley and I were talking about burnout and the craziness and chaos of everything going on. And so that is our topic for today. But I do have some announcements per usual. And they're the same ones from Monday just because I feel like I went over them super fast and I want to make sure that you guys got all of them. They're all important, so I don't even know what to start with. The first one I'll say is the Slay Squad. So a bunch of you are already in Slay Squad. If you're not, you'll be in there as soon as you hit Success Club this month. So just 3 people getting bundles or supplements that are 90 PV on Home Direct. The cool thing about it this month, though, is on top of our Tuesday calls that we do, we always feature one of you guys or another guest speaker that's seeing a lot of success right now, and that's on Tuesdays. But in addition to that, we have 3 power hours throughout the week that Nicole Faulkner does one, I do another, and Ashley LaSure does another. So 3 times a week you get on and work with us and get to hear different ways of doing all the things. And so you can get to be a part of that. Number 2, we are launching in France. The official date is May 27th. That is the pre-launch. You do not need to take part in France, okay? There is still so much potential in the US, in the UK, in Canada, that you can keep helping people here. But if you're interested in starting to expand in France and help people over there and really sign up some coaches over there mostly, there's a message thread that we're doing, just Fit Vibes Tribe, so that we can share expanding ideas and whatnot. And then 2, there is a group page, I think it's Team Beachbody France Launch, or like TBB France Launch. Just type that in Facebook, and there's tons of really good content in there. So definitely jump into that if you want to. Third is Ring the Beach Bar, or Ring the Barbell, that's what it's called. Ring the Barbell is a challenge that Slay Squad Stars, so Slay Squad Stars is all of our teams collectively, and we are all doing this challenge where we're giving away 3 different prizes to 3 different people that basically sell and or purchase beach bars throughout the month. It's pinned in the Fit Vibes Tribe announcements and other team pages that you might be a part of. It's also in there. So anytime that you buy or sell beach bars, just comment, and that's 1 entry. And then last but not least, just a quick reminder to make sure that on especially your social media accounts like Facebook and Instagram, but even Zoom, make sure you have 2-factor authentication turned on. As most of you guys know, my Instagram got hacked in August, and there's like a ton of coaches got hacked in August, and it's happening again now, 2 top coaches. So the way around that, even if you click, so what happened to me is I got an email that said, we want to work with you and partner with you, click this link, and I was mid-workout. So I clicked it, and it had you log into Instagram, and I didn't even think twice, but it wasn't really Instagram, it was the hacker page, and that's how they got all of my information. But if you have 2-factor authentication on, even if you do enter that, then I would have gotten a code saying somebody is trying to log in, turn it off, blah, blah, blah. So first thing, don't click on links. Second thing, turn on 2-factor authentication, just if you're like me and you're a sucker for all of that stuff. Okay, that's it. So if you don't know Ashley LaSure, she is super busy, especially now, like homeschooling with 3 kids at home, still running a successful business. Shout out to her because she just earned the Q1 bonus, which was $915 or so. And she's going to get that every single quarter, if not higher, which is amazing. And so she obviously does it all. And so she's going to teach us today how to do it so that you're not burning out and not working all hours of the day. Take it away, Ash.
Awesome. Hey guys, can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Just to say it, I'm hiding upstairs in my bedroom because I'm trying to get away from my annoying family, which I'm sure all of us, most of us can relate to in here. But so I'm here to talk about the burnout in your business, especially if you've been in this business a while. And a lot of us coaches have a lot of big goals, right? Or any type of goal in this business. And I feel like when we have these goals, we all of a sudden tell ourselves, okay, I have to work harder. I have to do so much more to be able to reach these goals. And I truly believe that is so false. We just have to work smarter and consistently. We don't necessarily have to work harder or, more hours or any of those things. So first I want to really share that when I first started this business, I was insanely busy. I was working 3 jobs. I was finishing college. I was taking care of my sick mom at the time. I was a single mom, and I was insanely busy. And I only worked this business for 20 minutes a day. And I feel like a lot of people don't believe that when I say it, but it is really true. I only worked 20 minutes a day. If I had an easy, you know, laid back day, which was very rare at that time, I maybe would have worked maybe 30 to 40 minutes, but most of the time I was working 20 minutes a day. And just by doing that, I was able to make this business work for me and quit all those jobs. And I have been full-time since. So you do not have to work crazy hours. You don't have to work, harder and do all these crazy things to make this business successful for you. You just have to be consistent. So I wanted to throw that in there. And then when I became full-time, that's when I started working a little bit more because I had that time. But I noticed when I first became full-time that I had that mindset where I was like, okay, I can do whatever the hell I want when I want. I can sleep in, however long I want. I mean, not so true when you're a mom, but I didn't have Remy at the time when I went full-time. So my sons were in school. So I had all that free time. I would binge watch Netflix. I would do all these things where I was just excited to do it because I was finally working from home, but I wasn't doing the things in my business. So that's when I sat down and really told myself, like, I need to create some type of schedule. I need to create working hours. Who in here has working hours in Beachbody? A handful of people? Good, that's good. Working hours are super important. I feel like when you come into a business like this, not many people talk about working hours, and we don't even think we need working hours. We kind of just think, okay, I'm going to work here, I'm going to work there. When I have time, I'm going to do it here, which is okay if that works for you and it keeps you consistent. But if it doesn't, you definitely need to sit down and create some type of working hours for yourself. So I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I want to show you what my schedule looked like when I sat down and did that when I became full-time. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, cool. So I created this back in, let's see, 2015. 2015, I think that's when I became full-time. I think so, 2015. So after I had my moment of waking up whenever, doing whatever I wanted, when I wanted, and not really working the business, that's when I sat down and created this. I was like, okay, I want to have working hours. I need these working hours. And for me, I wanted it to be 5 to 1:30. And the reason for that is because at the time my son got out of school at 2 p.m. So I wanted to make sure I did everything I needed to do before he got home. And that way the rest of the day was just family time, or anything that I needed to do, with us as a family. And the reason for that too is because, like I said, when I first started this business, I was so busy. I didn't get to do the normal, parent stuff like make breakfast for your kids, or do bath time or dinner, or read them a book before bed, or any of those things, because I literally was always working. I had 3 jobs. So I didn't get to do a lot of those things. So I wanted to make sure that I did all of my work before he got home from school. So that's why my schedule was like this. And just to throw it out there too, your schedule doesn't have to look like this. I wanted to do all these things in that amount of time because I had that time now. I have always worked my entire life, multiple jobs since I was 16. So it's always, and even to this day, like I have to be busy because I don't like to not be busy because it's always been my entire life. So that's why this schedule worked for me. So I would wake up at 5, I did my workout, I would do, some coach things, I would schedule time where I'm getting my son ready for school, I would schedule breakfast and personal development. I literally scheduled everything, and not just Beachbody. I scheduled breakfast, getting my son ready to school, family time, all those things. So that's what it looked like when I became full-time. And I followed that for a really long time. And then I got pregnant with Remy. And that's when it kind of went downhill again because obviously, your first trimester, you're super tired. And um, I wasn't following the schedule. It was hard for me to get up at 5. And then I was taking all these naps because I was insanely tired. And then I started to get down on myself because I wasn't following my schedule. So I want to tell you guys this because I want you to know that your schedule is going to always change, always, because life's going to happen. So in the beginning, I was working 20 minutes. Schedule looked completely different. And I don't even think I shared with you guys what I was doing then. I would do 1 to 2 things, Beachbody activity wise, for the 20 minutes one day. And then the next day, I would do 2 different things. So maybe Monday would be inviting and following up. Tuesday would have been connecting with people. Wednesday, adding to my network and getting back to messages. So the 20 minutes, it wasn't doing all of our activities in that 20 minutes. It was just doing 1 or 2 activities. But like I said, I was consistent with it. So then when I became full-time, I had that more time. So then I started doing majority of all of our work activities throughout the day. So like I said, it's always going to change when life happens. So I want to share this other new one with you. I recently created this. So my tips, my first one is to create those working hours. Sit down, figure out when you can be consistent with this business. And like I said, I don't care if it's for 20 minutes. Schedule it out. If you only have 20 minutes during your lunch break, if you're working full time and it's literally the only time that you can work this business, then that's when I want you to schedule to work out this business. And if you only have 20 minutes, then what are you going to do on Monday for 20 minutes? What are you going to do on Tuesday for 20 minutes? What are you going to do on Wednesday for 20 minutes? Have that full out schedule for yourself. And do this every week. So I just recently created this and I'll share it in the team page. Working hours and tasks. I'm very visual. I love cute things. So if they look cute, I'm going to follow it. So that's why I created this. And under time, you can create your own times. That's why I left it blank. And then I did it Monday through Friday. So for me, I like to work Monday through Friday, and then I generally like to have the weekends off because we're in the business where we can create our own schedule, right? That's what I wanted. So that's what I do. And so every week I sit down and create my hours and my schedule. And like I said, I fell off for a while of doing it for the longest time. And then recently I got back into scheduling those hours again. So sit down every week when you can. Maybe if Sunday's the best time to do it, do it. Create your working hours for each day and what your tasks are going to be. And like I said, if you're doing all these other things like I was in the beginning and you only have 20 minutes, then write that down. Write down maybe you're working your full-time job from this time to this time. Then you have 20 minutes right here to do Beachbody and what you're going to do with Beachbody. And then family time, whatever. If you have to schedule out even family time, it's okay as long as you're going to stick to it and actually do those things consistently every day. Schedule out family time. So that's the first tip, is to create those working hours and sit down every week and do that. Let me share what it would maybe look like, a sample. I started creating this the other day, and then I started realizing I left my workout out of it. So I try to put it in here. So now I have to go back and redo this, but this is kind of a sample of what it would look like. 6 to 7. I'm going to drink my Energize. I want to read my personal development, do my birthday messages, workout. Obviously, I'm not going to do all those things probably between 6 and 7 unless I'm doing a 20-minute workout. But like I said, I forgot to put the workout in there, so I kind of just squeezed that in there. 7 to 8, check-ins. I'm going to check into my group, check into the back office, and check in with my new clients or new coaches. 8 to 9, I'm going to invite. And I really like to get specific with things too. So under inviting, I wrote 30 minutes of invites to my virtual gym, and then 30 minutes of invites to the coach opportunity. And then I scheduled breakfast, follow-ups, 30 minutes of expanding network, 30 minutes of connections. I scheduled lunch and kid activity. I have kids, so I really need to remind myself to sit down and actually do fun things with them. And that's okay if you have to schedule that out. As parents, it's hard to it sounds bad, but it's true that it's hard for us to remember that we need to chill out, take a minute from work, do something with your kids, and if you have to schedule it, it's totally okay. So I scheduled that there, and then I put 1 to 3 ideas list. I always have, I wish I had it up here. I always have on my weekly to-do a little spot at the bottom that says ideas. So anytime something comes in my head, like maybe I want to send out a certain type of email to people or whatever, or I don't know, something, whatever I have an idea for, whether it's this business or something else, I always put it under this ideas list. So I really wanted to make sure I schedule time to actually do something off my ideas list, because I know if, all the coaches that have been in here for a while, we always have this idea list and we never do anything off of it. So I wanted to make sure I scheduled time for that, and also calls. So a lot of these days might look different for you, especially if you do a lot of calls with your team, or you have team calls, you work other jobs. Day to day, it might look different, and that's okay. So that's why we have, everyday slots, so you can create this everyday list for yourself. So my tip number 2 now is to stick to them, because consistency is key. And I am proof of that, because like I said, people think I'm crazy when I say I only worked 20 minutes a day in this business, and that's how I saw success. But it wasn't. It was because I was consistent with it. I did it every day. I didn't, work 3 hours aimlessly scrolling and then doing some inviting and some following up and then not working the next 2 days and whatever. It wasn't like that. I was just consistent with it. So even if you're doing 10 minutes, as long as you're consistent with it and stick to what you're supposed to be doing, you are going to see success in this business. So create these hours, stick to them. Tip number 3 is to treat this business like a business. I think that's super important, especially if you are here. If you are here as a hobby coach, you just want to do it on the side here and there, that's totally fine. But if you're here to work this business and you have these big goals and you want to see success, then you have to treat it like a business. You can't treat it like a side business. You have to have some sort of working hours. And it's okay if you don't stick to them all the time. Like, especially as a parent, things happen throughout the day. It's okay if you didn't do all your check-ins from 7 to 8. It's okay. It's okay if it goes into the 8 to 9 category. It's okay, just as long as you have some sort of structure that you know that you can wake up to every day and you have to do, then that's what works. And then my last tip, number 4, is to stop the mindless scrolling. And I am so guilty of this, and I know all of us are. It's like the first thing I do every morning. I don't even get out of bed yet, and it's such a bad habit for me, as I'll instantly grab my phone and I'll just like start scrolling aimlessly, and I'm like, okay, you got to get out of bed. So that's my big tip for number 4, is to stop the aimless scrolling. I actually just heard, who was it? I think it was Nicole Faulkner on a Power Hour the other day say, never scroll without a purpose. So that's my other tip that I want to throw in here. If you want to scroll, okay, but don't scroll without a purpose. And I really like that she said that. So when you're scrolling, make an attempt to comment on a couple people's things, or make an attempt to friend request 5 new people to expand your network. At least you're doing it with a purpose. Even though you're scrolling, you're actually doing something. Even if you're only friend requesting 1 person, you did something. So I really like that she said never scroll without a purpose, because we all scroll and we're all going to do it no matter what. So might as well do something while you're scrolling. And then the last thing I just want to mention is that, sorry, I'm having a mom fart. Or a mom brain fart. What was the last thing that I just wanted to say? It just popped in my head. It wasn't even one of my tips that I wrote down. Oh, timers. Set timers. So say like you're going to do your follow-ups from 10 to 11. Set a timer for an hour and just focus on those follow-ups, and don't do anything until you hear that timer go off. I find that this works so much for me, because I always want to do a million things at once. So like when Sam said, when she's talking about her account getting hacked. She was in the middle of her workout. Why were you checking your phone in the middle of your workout, right? I do it all the time. I always do. My brain is always everywhere. So if I don't set a timer, then I'm going to work out and check my messages at the same time. I'm going to do follow-ups and expand my network at the same time when I'm not supposed to. I'm going to do multiple things at the same time if I don't have that timer set. So that is my last big one, is to set timers for each thing as well. I'm stop sharing my screen.
I love it. So Amy said, she suggested having it like, I think a different call, but one of your tasks was check-ins, and you said online office, newbies, and then groups. And she's wondering what it looks like for you when you do your check-in for your back office and for new coach check-ins.
So my back office, we all know what our back office is. I sign into the coach.teambeachbody.com, and I will check everything. So I will check what my own active status is. So I will check, what my personal volume is. And so I run 3 accounts. I have my first business center, my second business center, and then my spouse's account. So I have to, because of where they're at, I have to have 100 PV on 2 of them and then 50 PV on 1 of them. So I make sure, even if I know that I just checked it yesterday, I still do it. I make sure that nothing happened and none of those are going to go inactive. I check my downline. I want to check on all of my people. If anybody is in the red inactive, that means that they're on the verge of going inactive by Wednesday night, which is the end of our work week. And so if they're on the verge of going inactive, even if they're one of my top leaders and I know they already know they're on the verge of going inactive and they're probably taking care of it, I'm still telling them like, hey, I just want to let you know, I was checking my back office and you are on the verge of going inactive. Let me know, if you need help. I'm sure you already know, but I just wanted to let you know too. So I'll do that. And then I also will check the news area to see if there's anything new going on in the business. Maybe, a new flavor of something launched or a new workout finally launched. Anything that I need to know would be in that news section. So I always check that too. I'm trying to think of what else I check. Volume, my team. If I'm in qualification for something, I'll also check my team's downline, if they're trying to get to diamond and they don't want to lose that rank, or somebody doesn't want to lose emerald or whatever, I will check those too. So that way I can say, hey, Chels, you have 3 coaches on the verge of inactive. You're going to lose this. Just wanted to let you know. Here if you need help. That way, a lot of times, a lot of coaches don't check those things. So us as leaders too, it's our job to check those for them. So if you have a team, that's what I do. I think that's pretty much it for the back office that I do every day. And then volume. I always want to know what my volume, not my personal volume, just like my team volume. I always want to know what that is every day. So I check that too. And then for newbie check-ins, new clients, I like to check in on them often within their first 2 weeks. And then after that, I check in like every so often, every couple weeks. But I usually, newbies clients, I check in probably every other day just to see how they're doing. Have they started their workout? Are they staying on track with it? Do they need help? Are they following a nutrition plan? All those things, because a lot of times our clients will be scared to tell us that they fell off or they haven't started. So I think it's super important to check in on them for that. And then for coaches, new coaches, same thing. I just check in like every other day. Hey, how's it going? Did you finish this training? Do you need help with conversations? Just little things like that to really get them going.
Love it. And you guys, do you all know where to find all of that stuff? Like where to see if you're active, where to find your volume, where to find your coaches and new customers? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, good. If not, let us know. And that's when we can like do a deeper dive into call. Also, subscription orders is a really good place to look. That's how I get not a lot, but at least 2 to 4 successful points every month. What other questions do you guys have for Ashley? or anything. Ashley, is there anything that you're doing differently given the coronavirus and now that your kids are home full time? Does your schedule look the same that you shared today?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. I am in my tasks look a little different. I feel like I am inviting more and following up more because I know people really need us right now. Um, but yeah, everything looks the same for me. I love getting up early and getting all of my work done early because then I have the rest of the day to do what I want. Just like, I signed up for this business to work from home and to be able to do what I want when I wanted it because I hated checking in with bosses or any of those things. So that's just what I love, is to get up early and get it all done, even if it's only 20 minutes.
So good. Also, everyone say hi to Sarah. She's a new coach that's on her first team call.
Woo!
What else, guys? Any questions, comments, concerns?
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Ashley, do you find it more effective to set timers for your tasks like you are doing currently than say send 20 invites a day? So I don't know if you've tried doing that instead.
I've done both, and I truly think it depends on your mindset. So if you have the type of mindset where you're going to get down in the dumps if you can't reach 20 invites and that's your goal, so then you're going to fall off and not invite at all tomorrow or the next day because you're so mad at yourself. I know some people are like that, and I know I am on certain things too. If that is going to affect you, then do the timer. Because if you're going to do the timer and just solely focus on it, and say you only get 5 invites in, but before your goal was 20, but you did your 20 minutes of inviting. I think that's better than doing 20 or having a goal of 20, you not hit it, you're mad at yourself, so then you don't invite for the next 2 to 3 days, and then you finally invite again. Yeah, I'd rather you do the 20 minutes and just get 5 invites in and do that consistently. So it's really all about what your mindset is.
That is a great point, because so often I see my girls being like, "Oh, I only sent 5 invites," and I'm like, "That's 5 more people than you that like did not get an invite," you know. So whatever you guys do, my whole thing is like, be proud of it because you did do it, even if it was 20 minutes or 20 connections or whatever you do. Be proud of it, because that's what's going to bring you back for more. If you do your daily work and every day you're telling yourself what you didn't do or how you could have done more, you're going to be like, this business sucks. Why would I feel that way tomorrow all over again? So be proud of whatever you do accomplish. And yeah, Gretchen said, do you have a planner we can buy? It's on Etsy, right?
Yeah, if you go to my Instagram, Ash Nicole Fitness, it's right in, I have a little highlight that says REM Planner. And if you go in there and just swipe up, it's right to the Etsy shop. It's only $5.99. It's just a printable one.
I'm trying to find it real quick.
I know I don't have it on this computer.
It keeps updating. I'm just on Etsy searching. It keeps updating to REM or Red Planner. Let's see what else. Oh, something's going on with Melissa. People keep talking to her. I miss.
Oh, yeah. Who is that? Melissa? Melissa, that's my planner right there.
Awesome.
Sure. Oh.
I'm just going through all these comments. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions, I would just say, oh, I did have one tip when Ashley's going through her blocks. I used to do that too. And if I took too long doing something, kind of like she said, if you go over, it's okay. If you go under, it's okay. For me, it wasn't okay. I was like, oh my God, I'm 5 minutes in. That means this 15-minute activity, it's only 10. And I would just get in my head and then I wouldn't do anything. And I would go eat, or I would like just scroll for 10 minutes and be like, I'll do this later. So what I do, if you're like me, is instead of an hour, pretend like you only had 50 minutes. So that way you're giving yourself 5 minutes of buffer, which is actually quite a long time if you're just sitting there doing nothing or going over on invites or going under on something. And so give yourself a 5-minute buffer off of each activity. That way you can give yourself time to go over if you want, and or go to the bathroom or fill up your water bottle or do those little things that you don't really think of. Because again, for me, I don't know why, but I'm like so black and white. So if I like went over, I'd be like, oh no, I don't have as much time as I thought that I did. So giving yourself a buffer. And also at the Brendan Burchard event I went to many years ago, he said you should never be sitting for more than 50 minutes. So if you are sitting down for 50 minutes, always get up for 10 minutes and like go walk around or go do jumping jacks or fill up your water bottle, something like that, just to keep your creativity flowing and your energy up and all of that. So that really helped me. Chelsea said, Ash helped me get my crap together schedule-wise with that sheet, and now I'm so much more productive, seeing so much more biz success. Well, hold on, that looks awesome. Can I make you bigger, Chelsea? I want to see like
I don't know, but she like I'll share a picture in Fit Vibes because I don't know what I would do without this girl. She sent me because did you make this because of me? I was like, I literally need your help with my life. And then she comes back the next day. She's like, I'm ready to help your life. So,
I did make it for you.
I love it.
yeah. So I just like used her advice and did blocks of time and just like got really specific about what my goals were and what it was going to take for those goals. So thanks, Ash.
Yeah, if you
You're
could take
welcome.
a picture of that and then post it in the recording or something, that'd be awesome.
I work a lot. Please don't be intimidated by my schedule. Everybody's different.
It's a good disclaimer.
That actually reminds me too, I just want to mention too, because I know a lot of coaches too, they will say, well, my spouse gets mad, I'm on my phone too much, I'm working too much. And I told Chelsea this too, when you create this schedule, let your spouse in on it. Like, hey, these are my working hours that I set. I'm taking this business seriously and I'm only going to do it from here to here. Because if you let them in on it, then they're going to take you serious. They're going to take your business serious. And it just, it just makes them feel good to know that you sat down and did this and, you're telling them these are your business hours.
And they feel a part of it too, almost like they're in on it.
Right. Yeah.
It occurs. Now Justin knows what follow-ups are and invites, and he's like, oh, are you doing your PD and recognition and expansion right now? And I'm like, you don't even know what that means. You shut your mouth.
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, I do have one thing that I was able to do strategically with Ashley's planner. When you're creating your schedule, my one tip would be to strategically go to your insights on your Instagram and find out what day on that certain day, say it's Monday, look at the day that your Instagram most recommends for you to post at that day and schedule your social media posts for that time slot.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that is good.
Also, guys, I'm seeing a lot of people saying they need a printer or they need ink or they need like all these things in order to do this. And it's not the first time I've heard that. I've heard the same thing with like the business activity tracker. Keep in mind, Ashley's first thing that she showed us was a Google Calendar. And also when Ash and I went to the New Leader Conference, Melanie Mitro spoke, and I think she speaks every year because she's #goals. And she does everything on Google Calendar. Everything is online. So you don't need a printer. If you want, you can write it out. I do everything. I just do like tally marks every day. Or you can use like any sort of tracker online or Google Calendar, your notes app, anything like that.
Pen and paper, crayon and paper. There's some way, somehow.
True. Gretchen does stars in a regular notebook. She does stars for every activity. I love it. Also, Mike used to say that about me and the biz. At our diamond retreat, Jatana suggested finding your spouse's love language. Make sure they're feeling fulfilled. Mike's is a clean space. Ooh, that's good to know. Harry's, I've learned, is gifts. So like if I come home from working at a coffee shop with a coffee, he'll be like totally cool. Or if I bake him dessert and then I go on a team call or like plan to work for a few hours on a weekend, he'll be totally fine.
Cody's is physical touch, and I hate physical touch. I'm like, this is so hard to balance that.
What is yours, Ashley?
Mine's gifts.
Mm. That's funny.
I like the gifts.
What's the other one? It's gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation,
Quality time.
quality time.
There's what's the other one? There's
Acts
one
of service.
acts of service.
That's mine, I think.
Ash, I have a question. Do you reach out to, so you mentioned you go in your back office and let your working coaches know when they're going to be inactive. Do you also let your discount coaches know when they're going to be inactive, or just your working coaches?
Discount coaches, no. Just because if I know that they're only doing this for the discount, they really do not care if they're going inactive. So I don't. I know some people do, but yeah, I don't.
I go back and forth. There are times when I don't, but then there are times that I do, because if they don't want anything, then they can cancel their discount membership. But I go back and forth. I'm currently in a phase where I only let my working coaches know, but I didn't know what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I don't. I even have like a ton of people who will be inactive, and then all of a sudden in 3 months they'll be active because they wanted something. And I'll tell them, like, you can cancel it if you're inactive for so long. You know, you're wasting this money if you're not getting anything and utilizing it, but they like to keep it just in case. So I have a handful of people like that.
I think for me, I would message them when I was like shooting for diamond, or if it impacted star diamond, that's when I would do it. Now it's like I have a buffer, so if they go inactive, nothing happens, you know. But if I needed them, that's when I think I would definitely check in. But I wouldn't say that, hey, you're going inactive, because like Ashley said, like they don't care. But what I would say is like, hey, have you tried the newest vegan beef bars? You know, like encourage like a new product to try.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
What else? Any other questions? Is Remy a princess today?
Remy's a princess every day. She is obsessed with dresses, and because it's winter, I have to make sure she has like a long sleeve shirt underneath them, because she only likes wearing dresses.
Cool. Last chance, guys. Any other questions? No? Let's do a boomerang. I love our Wednesday calls, how they have like over 25 people every time now.
Will someone tag me?
Yes.
I feel like my boomerangs look so ugly when I do them.
Okay.
I'll see.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, I did a regular photo. I'm gonna tag me too. Oh, all right, guys. Ashley, thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. So super simple, but super helpful if we do it and actually do it consistently. And thank you guys for hopping on. Go get some work done. Do one activity and then share in the recording what it is that you just did, even if it's for 5 minutes. Okay. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Guys.